Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. Thank you all very much for tuning in. And in this video, I'm very excited to be talking to you guys a little bit about a release from the company Giorgio Armani. This one is called Armani C Rose Signature, so stay tuned. Now, C Rose Signature was released in 2016, just 3 years after the release of the original, which was composed by Christine Nagel. This one, on the other hand, different perfumer, Julie Masse. Julie Masse has also done fragrances for Shea and Blue London. I dare say this is a more transparent version of the original. I think the original was more about the cassis and the patchouli and the vanilla, and for that reason, it had a very sort of oriental feel. This one is more about the note of rose, actually 2 variations of rose, compounded with this note of blackcurrant. It's a little bit sweeter, but it retains its transparency at the same time. I'm very excited to talk to you guys a little bit more about this fragrance. Let's start things off by taking a look at the presentation. So the box for this one is very similar to the original, but it has this lace motif here in the front, sort of conveys the sensitivity of the fragrance, attributed to the note of rose. You have your serial number at the bottom, it's printed on the box there. You have the ingredients at the very back in a few different languages, and then you have the Giorgio Armani logo and insignia up here at the top. As far as the bottle is concerned, very nice looking bottle, similar motif as the one found on the box. The cap for this one does click into place, but it is a heavy bottle, so don't pick it up from the cap. You have your sticker at the bottom with your information. The distribution is somewhat narrow, but it gets the job done. And that was the presentation for C Rose Signature by Armani. Now, as soon as you spray this fragrance on, you are going to get a very beautiful rose note. Now, the way that rose is done, it leaves me with a little bit of apprehension or trepidation, where that if it's compounded with an agarwood note, it comes off as very Middle Eastern. It could be spicy, like Carner Barcelona's Rose and Dragon, where you have the cardamom and the saffron. It can also be very sort of floral, depending on other floral notes that it's compounded with, whether it be freesia or ylang-ylang or jasmine or gardenia. In this fragrance, it has the note of blackcurrant, and I love this scent. It's a breath of fresh air. The reason I say that is because when you're looking at the note breakdown, I mean, in all honesty, it's a fruity floral, right? You have the floral, which is the rose. You have the fruity component, which is the blackcurrant. But when you're comparing it to other fruity florals in the market, it's not jasmine and peach. It's not gardenia and apricot. It's not an expected or a generic or an overly done fruity floral. This is a breath of fresh air in the sense that it's a different note breakdown, and I love it. It comes off smelling so natural. It's vibrant. It's just full of life. And the rose note in here, it's not spicy, so it's not going to turn people off. It's not going to veer people away. It gives off a very sort of romantic feel, and I like that the blackcurrant in this just gives just enough sweetness to the composition that it's not overly sweet, and it's not done in an expected or banal sort of a way. I love the smell. This one, it is light. It's a bit more ethereal, and that's not to say that it doesn't last for a long time. I mean, I don't get the best longevity from it, but it's not to say that it's going to be fleeting and it's going to disappear in an instant. What I like about the rose note is that it adds this layer of transparency to it. When you take a look at the original, and I really like the original with the vanilla and the patchouli, you also do get a little bit of vanilla in this one, but it's almost like if the vanilla in the original was completely opaque, here, the opacity is reduced by like 50 or 60%. It's kind of like a window where the curtains have been drawn open, allowing just enough light to enter the room and suffuse the floor and the furniture. It's brighter, it's more open, it's very sort of transparent. Because of the note of rose, it just gives off that olfactory texture to the composition, but it does have the DNA of the original, which has taken a back seat. This is a great fragrance if you're gonna wear it out, night out on the town, or if you're just gonna wear it casually. This would make a really great work scent. It's the type of fragrance that is inoffensive. It has universal appeal. It's not going to offend anyone. It adds a nice sort of touch of sensuality, but also a romantic inclination. I think it's a wonderfully developed scent, and I love the fact that they enlisted Julie Masse's help in composing this fragrance. It's a nice deviation from what we've seen in the other sort of flankers from the line, and there have been many. There's even a Rose Signature 2 that has been released on the market. So I think this is a wonderful release for 2016, and let's go ahead and finish things off by taking taking a look at my rating. First up, I took a look at the uniqueness in the overall smell, and it is a unique fragrance. I like how it's a fruity floral in every sense of the classification, but it does do things differently enough that it's not expected or traditional or generic, and it's not something that conforms to other fruity florals of the genre, and I think it's a really nice deviation, so much so that it's a breath of fresh air, and I think it's quite a sexy and flirty scent. And again, I do think it's youthful, but there's enough of a sophistication that is contributed due to the note of rose that will allow this fragrance to be worn by women who are a little bit older, a little bit more mature and set in their ways, and definitely conveying confidence. As far as longevity is concerned, it's okay. You're gonna get 6 to 7 hours from this fragrance. Projection, it will jump off your skin. I wanna say it radiates within an elbow's length for about a couple hours, and then it does start to sit closer to the skin. It becomes a close encounter or an intimate fragrance, and what I think that will do is it will warrant somebody wanting to get closer to you so that they can enter your scent cloud, as it were. As far as versatility, I think it's great. I think this one would work better in the colder weather, but probably on a cool summer night. I wouldn't wear this one in the dead of heat, even though I don't think there's anything in here that will make it come off cloying or sticky or overwhelming in any sense. I think it can work really well as far as the weather is concerned. I do think this one can be worn by somebody who's a bit younger. I would say 25 and up. And then I think this one can also work really well on guys too. I think rose, like iris and like orange blossom, is one of those unisex ingredients, but again, it has to cater to your personal taste, wear what you like. And then lastly, presentation I think is really nice. I do like the lace here on the front. I think the bottle design is also really cool, so is the cap. And if I had to give this fragrance an overall score, I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a 4 out of 5. I think this one is really well done. I like that the composition is a breath of fresh air. I like that the wearability and the versatility is really high on this one. And I like that it has this universal appeal about it. The only thing that I wish it had done was able to last a little bit longer. I think I would have liked for the DNA of the original to be a little bit more present, most notably, that note of cassis, which I think is the iconic sort of ingredient and the signature of the original. But nonetheless, we're looking at a wonderful scent, very well done, and excellent release. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. That was my review of Giorgio Armani's C Rose Signature. If you have any experience with this fragrance, please let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Also, please don't forget to subscribe for future videos, and remember to enable notifications by clicking on the bell. Remember, I smell well so you can smell good, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care.